Anthony on Air podcast. Are we done with concerts for the foreseeable future? This crazy article in the New York Times has everybody going crazy. Will we not get a concert until fall of 2021? Anthony on Air podcast. Special guest co-host Frankie C in the house. How are you, my man?
Doing all right. Bad news about concerts, though. What is that crap?
I mean, it's funny. We were talking during the live show on Saturday. By the way, thanks to everybody who participated. It was so much fun in the comments and everything. But we'll recap in a bit. We were talking about the moment that you fell in love with Metallica, and then we were like recapping some of the shows that we've been to together. And then this article hits on Sunday, and it wasn't going to be the big thing, but now it's become the big thing because we live in a society where one person says something somewhere, it becomes a headline, and then it's a mushroom cloud explosion all over the place that like people are texting me like, did you hear there's not going to be any concerts? And it's like, no, that's not true. It's just one man's opinion, but we'll dive in.
That's all this is.
That's all this is. So as it turns out, this guy, Zeke Emanuel, who is the director of the Healthcare Transformation Institute at the University of Pennsylvania.
Sounds legit.
Says, I know, right? The longer the
Well, I
title.
can't come up with a better one.
The longer the title. We should be podcast transformative directors from the University of Suffolk County. That's what we should be. That was an awful joke. I'm so glad you didn't. I'm so glad that. Did you not hear that? Because I'm not going to repeat it.
I heard the first part of it.
No, it was terrible.
And I'm glad. I could tell it was going to just cause the internet to crash. So
the joke was
I'm glad
so
it
bad.
did.
I crashed.
It broke the internet. And I hate that phrase, but you almost literally broke the internet.
All right. So now listen. Is the director of Healthcare Transformation Institute at the University of Pennsylvania, does he have a little credence to him? Probably, right? Like, I'd rather listen to somebody who's at least employed by the University of Pennsylvania than some schmo who's writing blogs out of his mom's basement. All right, true. But
Right.
It's still one person's opinion. And I just think we should be a little cautious with this. When, again, one person says something, it becomes a headline. Nobody reads the article. Headline sweeps across social media, and now everybody's freaking out and panicking that we're not going to have concerts anymore.
I mean, this can't just apply to concerts. I mean, you're talking sports.
Right.
It's anywhere where a lot of people gather. It's not just concerts. It's sports. It's like Broadway shows. It's movie theaters. I mean, that's what they're talking about when he says concerts. It's anywhere that there are thousands of people.
So Zeke Emanuel was part of an expert panel assembled by the New York Times on life after COVID-19. The problem, according to Emanuel, is you can't just flip a switch and open the whole society up. It's just not going to work. It's too much. The virus will definitely flare back to worst levels. So, again, and this is why I really, really kind of hate media in this day and age, because this was probably an hour and a half conversation. And what happens? They go in and they get that little piece right there and make it the headline. And then, like I said, explosion. And I just think, again, it's one person's opinion. It's probably one part of one person's opinion. And now there's just article after article after article on how this is all going to happen. So here's an extrapolation of what he says. He says that the economy has to restart in stages and that crowded events will be the last part of our old lives to return. Here's his quote. It does have to start with more physical distancing at a work site that allows people who are at lower risk to come back. Certain kinds of construction or manufacturing or offices in which you can maintain 6-foot distances are more reasonable to start sooner. Larger gatherings, conferences, concerts, sporting events, to your point, Frankie C., when people say that they're going to reschedule this conference or graduation event for October 2020, I have no idea how they think that's a plausible possibility. I think those things will be the last to return. Realistically, we're talking fall 2021 at the earliest. And the reason why he points to fall 2021 is because that's the estimated time where we'll have a vaccine for COVID-19. So he's basically saying we're not going to get back to normal life, be like, i.e., going to concerts, sporting events, so on and so forth, until we have a vaccine. What do you think about that?
It kind of makes sense a little bit. I mean, if we don't have something to stop this, and we just go back to normal life once the numbers die down, then the numbers are just going to shoot back up again.
Yeah,
No?
which I actually, no, I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think that my personal opinion is we see what's going on in the world. You know, by the way, in Florida, I don't know what happened to Florida. It's just like they're a different planet down there at this point.
They don't know what's
It's
everything.
insane.
Whenever you read something weird happened, chances are it's in Florida.
Yeah, it's it's so weird. But the truth of the matter is like we you know, and I was talking about this the other day. Major League Baseball is talking about this plan of like a domed city where basically they would take, you know, locations in Arizona and they would quarantine their teams over there, and the teams would be playing games, 7 inning games. They wouldn't interact with anybody else. They were going to take all these measures basically to quarantine off Major League Baseball amongst themselves, make sure that nobody is sick. Kind of you create a little domed city, a little society there, and you know there's no chance of getting the virus, or very, very little chance of getting the virus. So once everybody's healthy, you have nothing really to worry about. Okay, it makes
Like
sense.
The Simpsons.
Like The Simpsons. It makes sense in Arizona because Arizona is one of those places where they're just not as affected by this as, say, we are here in New York. So while I think this guy makes really good points, I think you're going to have concerts and shows and things in Arizona, in New Mexico, in these places where the numbers are super, super low. In New York, I think it's a bit of a different story because you do have to really kind of.
Problem with that.
Go ahead.
I think the problem with that is, I mean, you have a concert in Arizona. You're saying that only people who live in that area can go to it?
Well, that's the thing. My part B of this would be you got to really seriously restrict travel because that's how this virus spreads through cruise ships, airplanes, trains. Like there's no way it goes from Europe to the United States unless it comes here on an airplane or on a cruise ship. You know what I mean? And I think they've basically traced it back to the fact of it started in China, went to Europe, and then came from Europe to the States. So I think that although we want the world to return back to normal, I think you have to cut off travel first, and then you can, you know, because I mean, basically your point was going to be, I'm assuming that everybody in Arizona is going to go to the Arizona concert, that not somebody in Colorado is going to fly up and bring the disease there. And you're 100% right. So I think you got to cut down the travel in order to, because that's the biggest enemy. Nobody wants to talk about grounding airlines in the United States of America. But I mean, look at what else we're talking about here. Sports, concerts, Disney World. Like, I mean, how, you know, it's like you're
Movie
just
theaters,
movie theaters. Exactly. Like it's
malls.
kind of crazy.
It's going to be everything. I mean, a lot of this stuff, I feel like concerts and movies, there's solutions to that stuff. For example, it might be a weird example, but in Fortnite, about a year ago, go with me here on this.
I
Seriously,
have no
this
choice.
is a serious point.
I have no choice. Go ahead.
In Fortnite, you know the artist Marshmello,
The yes.
the guy with the DJ with the big mask,
the Lego head.
right? In Fortnite, like a year ago, he held a virtual concert.
Oh, I heard about this. Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a place in Fortnite, one of the locations that you play in, where they set up a stage. You know, it was all like in the game. You set up a stage and you drop in like you would normally into the game as your person,
Mm,
as your character, and you just watch the concert as the character.
yeah.
You know, so you put on like a, I don't know, it was like 15-minute, 20-minute concert, and it was him, talking to the crowd, and everybody would drop into their own game and watch this concert. So I feel like there are ways, and movies. Movies are now being released on Netflix and on demand and all this stuff.
Yeah.
That they could figure that out. The businesses might suffer, but for the customer, there are solutions. Doing it virtually,
Yeah, I
stuff
mean,
like that.
and that's what everybody's doing right now, but we're talking about trying to get back to a sense of normalcy. You know, it's funny.
Well, unfortunately, yeah.
I know it's unfortunate. I was reading the other night. There was a survey that was done. I could be wrong on the number, but basically, it was about 75% of people were like, "I'm not going anywhere until there is a vaccine." They polled 75% of like sports fans, and they were like, "Will you go to a sporting event?" And basically 3/4 of the people were like, no, not until there's a vaccine. So, there is that other side of this where it's like you not only have society, quote unquote, reopening, but then you also have people's willingness to participate, which is another
Yeah.
matter altogether.
I mean, because in order to reopen, what is the criteria for that? I mean, are we waiting to reach a certain low number of infected people? Because that doesn't matter. If it's a dozen, the chances, well, maybe it's not a dozen, but if it's like a couple of hundred, the chances of it spreading again, if we start
Yeah.
going back to normal,
Yes.
I mean,
I
it's
agree. I agree. But
there's got to be a certain criteria, and we can't feasibly keep it to that.
what I think,
Do you know what I mean?
I agree. And what I think is going to happen is as we quote unquote reopen, I think it's going to happen in phases. And I think what you're going to see are a restriction on people over a certain age to travel and to move around. Like, I think that for seniors, this
Yeah.
is probably going to stick around for a little while longer than, say, for people in their 30s. Now,
Right.
that's not to say that people in their 30s won't die. But the weird thing is and this is so true though. Like when you're facing numbers of 100 to 240,000 people dying, you shut everything down. When you're
Yeah.
facing numbers of 500 people dying, you keep going. And that's just the way the world is. Like I wish it wasn't that way, but that's the way the world is.
But the thing is, it's not just older people. There are people in their 30s, 40s, 50s that are
I
getting.
agree. I agree. But
It's
you're gonna,
anybody who has an illness, really. Anybody who has
yeah.
some underlying issue can be negatively affected by this thing, no matter how old they are.
But what you're gonna have, but what you're the argument that you're gonna get is oh, people die with the flu and people die get hit with a car, and
Yeah, but
that's that's the
we have a
argument you're gonna
vaccine
get.
for the flu. We have treatment for the flu.
I know,
And we have, you know, it's
I know,
impractical
but
to shut down all cars.
it is, but it's also impractical to keep things the way they are for a long time.
Or my theory is, how all right, go with me on this one again. You know how in
Are we back
evolution,
in Marshmallow with Fortnite, or where?
no, we're going to X-Men now. You know the movie X-Men.
Yeah,
In the beginning of the movie, the original X-Men, Patrick Stewart, the first one, he gives, it's the opening, what's it called? The speech that he just gives in the beginning. And he says, every now and then, evolution takes a leap forward. And that's how he explains why there are mutants. I think society and technology and all this whole thing is going to cause a technological leap forward. I think that this is going to cause businesses and people to, like, this is going to cause a necessity for technology to leap forward. You know what I mean?
I agree.
I don't mean people leap. I don't mean like mutants. I mean technology. I mean,
No, but we should get
cameras
some
and
mutants, though. Don't you think we should have a couple mutants? Would be the
mutants
best.
would be great.
It'd be
I
fantastic.
could use a mutant. That'd be awesome. But honestly, I'm telling you, this. I mean, there is so much bad coming out of this. But if there's any kind of good, it would be that we're maybe looking for futuristic ways to interact.
Speaking of
Does that make
futuristic
sense?
ways to interact, the
Uh-oh.
Getki Smart. Here's a product that
I
has
can't with this thing.
This is, you talk about somebody who's a germaphobe.
This is dumb.
This dumb. I'm ordering 5 today, right after the podcast.
Here, watch. Ready? I got the same thing right here. It's my shirt.
No, you can't
I
just
could do
stick
the
your
same
finger
thing.
in your shirt. It doesn't work that way.
Why not? Why
I
can't
don't
I use
know.
my shirt?
Because you can. You still, you just can't. You just can't.
Because I have to pay $20 for this thing
Yes.
that I'm just going to touch anyway. It's going to go in my pocket, and I'm going to have the germs that are on it anyway.
This
stupid.
thing, Frank, is like, I feel like Total Recall. I feel like somebody climbed into my brain.
That's why it's stupid. I got it.
Thought of all my worst fears
I'm caught up already.
and was like, let's put it all into one product so that idiots like this guy will buy it. Now, look, here it is in action. Look, you could open a door. You could open a door.
What about a turn knob? You can't pull that open.
You're screwed. You can't go into places with turning knobs. But there's no places with turning knobs in public. They're all pull. Look,
It's a stylus with a hook. That's all it is.
it's a life
stylus
stylus.
with a hook. Life stylus. They missed that. Wait, can you scroll a little? See how much that thing costs? Is it
It's $24.99.
$24.99
Yeah.
for a piece of, is it brass? I think it is.
I think it's
piece of
brass. Yeah.
Yeah, because it supposedly rejects germs and stuff like that.
By the way, life stylus is such a better name than Clean Key, don't you think?
Yes, because it's lifestyle. This is perfect.
I bet
Tells
you
you
this
what
isn't-
it's doing.
I bet you this isn't
a
patented.
stylus.
We could probably create a life stylus.
Okay, here, wait. Here it is. This is my life stylus. I'm gonna use this. It's just,
No, you can't walk around with a can opener.
why not? I could walk around with a key, that giant key ring. I could attach this to my keys
You
and
can't
be fine.
listen.
Look, and this.
Could you open up? Can you push an elevator button with a can opener?
Yeah.
Oh
Look,
yeah, you could.
has a pointy thing.
Good point.
Plus, this opens cans. Does
Like
your
to see
key
the
thing
Clean
open
Key
cans?
open up a can.
Look, I could use this as chopsticks. I could use it as like a
Chopstick.
castanets.
Yeah, but look, it looks like a key. Wait, here's my favorite part.
Yeah, this looks like a can opener though.
As if, Frank, look at this. As if the Clean Key wasn't nerdy enough, they've come up with a little like dog leash thing so that you don't ever lose your Clean Key. It's attached to
Oh,
your belt buckle.
I hate to burst your bubble there, Clean Key people, but someone invented that like 40 years ago.
Really?
That retractable belt thing?
Oh, I know that's it, but
Absolutely.
but they actually sell one now so that you can never lose your Clean
They
Key.
sell it. They didn't come up with it.
Like one Clean Key. Oh, this is what I love. One Clean Key, and they throw in the free retractable carabiner. Is that how you say that? Carabiner?
Sure. Now this I will sell to you for $19.99. How's that?
Listen to this. One Clean Key and the retractable carabiner for free, $24.99. But if you want 5 Clean Keys and 5 retractable thingies, it's only $50.
Is that all?
Yeah. Now this doesn't make sense.
This is a scam.
This
What a
doesn't make
scam.
sense because underneath that, you can get 3 Clean Keys and 3 free retractable things for the same price that you can get one. That makes no sense whatsoever.
What the hell is that about?
It doesn't, because I'll tell you why. They're not marketing to normal people, perhaps like yourself. They're marketing to irrational idiots that are like, oh my God, this will be so
Please
much.
tell me you bought this.
I didn't buy it yet, but I'm going to be buying it. And I'm going to tell you this
Dude.
right now. When I buy my
$20.
5, you're not going to be the person who gets one of them, okay? You're not going to be on that list.
$20. Right here, look.
But I'll tell you what you're not thinking about. I'll tell you what you're not thinking about when it comes to the Clean Key. And this is where it's super important, when you're at a store and you got to touch a screen, like the credit card machine or whatever, Clean Key can do
Guarantee. Let me see.
because it's brass. See, it doesn't work
What
because
do you
yours
mean?
is rubber,
Doesn't work on
idiot.
my screen. I could just put a little stylus. Yeah, wait.
Why don't you
I'm
tape a
sure I
green
have a stylus around here somewhere.
tape
Just
a
carry that around.
tape a clean key to the end of your thing there?
I don't need a $25 clean key. Thank you, though.
I'm gonna buy the 5 and then sell 4 for $25 each and pay. I could pay this off myself.
And does brass really deflect germs? I feel like there's a piece of brass out there with germs all over it.
Well, no, it's not that it deflects. Well, I don't know if it deflects germs, but it eases
I mean,
germ
I guess it's
anxiety.
easier to clean.
Yeah, it's the point of you're not touching these things. The key is.
Yeah, but then you touch the key. You put it in your pocket. It's on your keychain. It's on your hip.
I know there should be some sort of a sleeve to put the key in, a skeeve sleeve.
Skeesh. See? Marketing team. This is marketing genius right here.
Slide your clean key right in the skeeve sleeve, and then you don't have to worry about the germs getting everywhere. You love skeeve sleeve. Look at you.
That's
Hang on.
perfect.
Wait, what?
This opens cans.
No, stop it. All right. Avoid touching public touch screens. Ergonomic design makes it easy to open doors, press buttons, and pull levers.
Ergonomic design.
It's
It's
ergonomic.
friggin' stick.
It's shaped like a key. Antimicrobial.
That's not ergonomic.
It is ergonomic.
Ergonomic means
Antimicrobial.
it's shaped for a person, like
Yeah, it
it's
is.
shaped to your body's makeup.
There's like a loopy part. It's ergonomic. Stop arguing with the
There's a hole in it.
Stop
Got
it
Go ahead.
arguing with the ergonomicity of the product.
The ergonomicity. Ergonomitude.
Antimicrobial 260 brass alloy kills germs in up to 4 hours. So I'm guessing that germs
How does
only
it kill germs?
I don't know.
It's brass.
I'm not sure.
Unless
Maybe
they coat it in something.
yeah, maybe germs just only last 4 hours on there as opposed to everything else, which lasts like for days.
I feel like if it's on you and you got it for 4 hours, if it's 4 hours or 14, you're gonna get it.
Look at this. Look at this. Back order due to extremely high demand. Reserve yours now for April 29th. See?
Would they make 5 of these things?
See?
They call it a stylus. Reserve your
Stylist now. Yeah, it is. This is just, I'm telling you, their target market is people that are freaking out. They're going to
$25.
Whoever came up with this is going to be a millionaire in a short amount of time too. And
See, that's the thing. I come up with stuff, but then you gotta like make a gajillion of them. What's the next step? Do you think this person went on like Channel 2 during Price is Right and got that commercial that tells you if you're an inventor, call this number?
that's what he did.
That's what he did, right? He had
with the guy and the hammer and the wheel,
Yeah.
the first wheel. Yep,
exactly.
totally did it.
That's the only way. How the hell else do you get something on the old Walmart floor or whatever the hell?
Look at this. We could email Andrew at mykeysmart.com to
Ooh, can we have him on for an interview?
arrange an interview. Yeah. Maybe we'll get Andrew on the next podcast to see.
Don't show him this episode though.
This thing is going to sell like gangbusters.
It is. Hey, maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong because this people seem to see something in this. Maybe the antimicrobial that's probably the big seller. Because if it was just a piece of plastic, then no one would. I don't think anybody would buy it.
I mean, it's that, but it's also, even if it was just a piece of plastic, you're talking about a tool that you can use to not touch things that transfer viruses and bacteria and germs. That is, of course, that's going to be the hottest seller right now. I mean, there's just no.
I agree. The only problem I see is then you touch the tool. It's not like you're touching something and then throwing it away.
No, I get it, but your argument is eliminating things by 1,000%. That's not what this does. I don't have to open the door now. I might touch the tool, maybe, but I definitely didn't have to touch the door, and I didn't have to touch the credit card machine. This is like 5 steps at the gas station alone. That, you know what I mean? That is the most skeeviest of skeeve places. So you're just talking about cutting down the odds.
You know what? Put me down for one.
Yeah, see?
You're buying 5 of them. Throw me one.
No, yours is
I'll
going to
throw
be
you the
24.
$10 or
Yours is
whatever
going
it
to be
is.
$20 if you want one now.
Do they come in different colors?
No, brass, only brass.
Oh, see, that's
Brass
now
is
you lost me again.
brass is kind of its own color though, isn't it?
That's true.
But you can customize the ski sleeve if you want. We'll get you one with your name on
Ooh,
it.
I'm telling you, we should partner up with this guy. And notice how I threw myself in that.
We
I didn't come up with Steve Sleeve at all, but you did, and I was there next to you, virtually.
witness.
Witness.
This might be the best grandma in the entire planet. She has gone viral for this photograph right here.
What does that say? I need more beer.
I need more
All
beer.
right, 93-year-old, please for beer. All right.
Yeah. A 93-year-old woman made a hilarious plea from the window of her Pennsylvania home, begging for an essential supply of beer during the coronavirus lockdown. Olive Veronese was snapped holding up a Coors Light can and a whiteboard saying, "I need more beer." The photo, which has gone viral on Facebook, racked up more than 10,000 likes. Veronese said the image has even resulted in some generous offers to get her more beer. It's nice, something for a young lady, she said, according to a report. Isn't that lovely?
That is beautiful. That's a beautiful story. See, more stuff like that.
Yeah.
More nice things. That's great.
I'm going to send her a clean key. That's going to be my little thing.
That's nice of you.
I thought so. I thought it would be
With
good.
with the free holster retractable thingy, carabiner.
Yeah, with the ski sleeve and the carabiner. I feel like we're saying that wrong. Carabiner?
Carabiner is right.
Carabiner queen. Now we're sharing. All right. Did you see Andrea Bocelli yesterday, Easter?
And I did not. I heard of it, but I did not see it.
So
I heard it was beautiful.
So good. It was so good.
The man could sing.
He like he could sing. It was lovely. Like, we're all stuck at home. I'm sorry. I wish I was a better person, but I'm not going to watch Mass. That's not happening. Especially I have 2 kids. They're not going to sit through that. So that wasn't it. So there was nothing really overly like, Eastery that I could participate in, but that was kind of nice. He did it in a church and everything. Although I will say this, dude, I was watching it. It was nice. We were sitting kind of just like picking on some appetizers, and the kids were eating their lunch, and, we were sitting at the table, and so we had it on TV. So the kids were kind of at bay, and they were behaving themselves while my wife and I were watching it. And he sings. He does like a half hour. The entire thing is inside the church. For the last song, he goes outside the church, just like right out in front. And it's this beautiful cathedral in Italy. I don't forget where. I think in Milan somewhere. It's gorgeous. And typical to any, Italian cathedral, like, there's just this amazing, court. Like, outside the Italian cathedrals, there's just like a courtyard. Like, it's just like
like a square.
So like a square. Like, so the last song, he goes out, and they got him mic'd up out there to sing in this square, and he's just echoing off of this square, and he decides to sing Amazing Grace, and they pull out from him singing, and then they start going to drone shots of Italy, and then France, and then Times Square, New York City, and they're just showing all the streets that are empty as Bocelli is blasting Amazing Grace in this middle of this empty square in Italy. Bro, I'm getting chills just talking about it. I literally got choked up, and Michael came over to me. My son came over to me and kind of like got up on my lap, and I grabbed him because it was really like this emotional moment. And when I looked over, Dee was doing the exact same thing with Cecilia. Like, she had kind of grabbed Cecilia, and it was
I gotta
like,
say, that should be like, God forbid, if the world came to an end, that should be the last thing we all play on TV, every channel.
that was the band playing on the Titanic. That was that moment right there.
That is beautiful. I have to watch that. It's probably on YouTube or something, right? I could probably pull that up
you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna link that part. I'm gonna link the whole show, but I'm gonna specifically find the end and link that part for everybody, so they don't have to go searching for it. It'll be in the descriptions. It was just, oh, I
That is
mean,
awesome. I have to watch that. Now, I have a quick question for you.
yeah,
When last we met, you were given an assignment, as was I,
yeah,
to watch one of three movies.
yes.
Did you watch one of those three movies?
I did not. Did you?
I did.
Wow. I knew it the second you brought it up because you wouldn't have brought it up if you didn't do
No, I
it.
would not have. And I knew you weren't bringing it up. I knew you didn't do it because you weren't bringing it up.
Well,
Um,
I do have an explanation as to why. And by the way, kudos to us for not doing. I did see Tiger King, and we're not talking about that. Thank goodness. It's a Tiger King
no.
free episode.
Ugh.
I did look for Princess Bride. It's not
Oh, that's got
available.
to be somewhere.
It's not. It was.
Nowhere? They're
I'm
not
not gonna
showing it
lie to you.
anywhere?
It was like $14.99 somewhere. I was like, I'm
Oh,
not
I can't.
downloading an app
It's
and
not on
paying.
Netflix or anything?
It's not.
That's ridiculous.
It's not. I could
Well,
have
you
done.
should buy it because it's worth it.
I could have done Star Wars too, but I've seen Episode 4, so I don't even know why you included that one in there.
But you know nothing about it. It's like you've never seen it.
No,
You
I've
didn't know
seen
who
it,
R2D2 or C3PO were.
but I couldn't remember who they were. I couldn't remember the difference of who was who, but I've seen it
Give me one scene from that movie.
in the canteen. I know the basic plot.
Cantina.
In the cantina. I know the basic plot. They go to get Harrison Ford, and Harrison Ford's there, and he's got the Millennium Falcon's the fastest thing,
All right.
and that whole
Anyway.
thing.
Okay.
I
And what
know.
about Silence of the Lambs?
Silence of the Lambs? Nowhere to be found.
Really?
Yeah.
I had easy ones. I saw, what's it called? Rocket Man.
Oh, you saw Rocket Man?
I did. It was, I understood what they were doing. I get it. Direction was beautiful. They did a great job with that, but it didn't grab me like I thought it was going to grab me because
Really?
it didn't really tell me anything new. It just, he was gay and he did drugs. I feel like that's every rock star's.
That's not every rock star.
Nothing.
No, but I mean, didn't you? I found, okay, there's going to be a lot of spoilers here. I found a new respect for him on how, for a talented person, okay, somebody that I've always been a fan of, right?
Right.
For everybody in his life personally to completely neglect him and treat him like a piece of shit.
Except for his grandmother.
Right. But his mother and his father completely
Right.
neglected him. Bernie didn't neglect him, but had no, and like, there's that one
He was
scene.
his best friend. They're best friends to
Right.
this day.
But there was that one scene where he tries to kiss Bernie, and the sadness in that scene was for the like he's so emotionally abused that he can't delineate the difference between somebody actually just being nice to him out of friendship
Yeah.
versus somebody that he's interested in sexually. Like he doesn't even have the
Oh yeah, he's all in different directions about love and everything.
yeah. I mean,
But
say
I
that
feel like because it was a musical, like I didn't expect. I thought like it was like I was watching, especially in the beginning, felt like I was watching a high school play, like with the kids singing and then everybody breaking into dance. I was like, all right, this feels like I'm watching a play.
yeah, it's oddly in the beginning. Yeah, especially in the beginning, it's oddly paced and timed, and
Yeah.
the feel and the vibe is
And I don't know which
peculiar.
parts were made up because some of it, obviously they didn't start singing in the middle of scenes, but like, am I to believe the parts where they're not singing?
Yeah,
Like that's what happened in his life outside of the singing.
yeah. No, you could believe all of it. I mean, all of it is true. I mean, with the exception of like they didn't start floating in the air in that one scene, but
No.
but that's representative
Well,
of they were so drugged up that they were,
but I also the attempted suicide scene where he he almost drowns in the pool or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That was different. That never happened. That he actually put his head. From what I understand, I could be wrong. Maybe I got a bad source, but I understood that he put his head in the oven and his friend pulled him out. That's what
Oh,
really happened.
I don't
And then he
I don't
and
know.
then he wrote the song Daniel. Someone saved my life tonight.
That I don't know.
I could have
I
sworn that was what really happened. Don't quote me on that though.
I mean maybe, but I mean sticking your head in the oven versus drowning yourself in the pool. It's still an attempted suicide. It doesn't really matter how it's expressed.
Absolutely. It's just I don't know. It didn't grab me as I thought it was going to grab me. Only because I feel like more fantastical.
Well, but I said though, I said it was more like there was fantasy elements, and it was told through fantasy.
Sure, sure. But I understand. I got it. But I was
But
just
what about
in the beginning.
his
God,
manager who was like who he thought he could rely on and had the relationship with? Then he's getting a blowjob from some other dude
yeah,
as Elton, like in Elton's backyard. Like I mean, just the poor, like you just, and again, it's
yeah. He's
another
gone through some
moment
stuff.
where he tumbles.
Absolutely, absolutely. He
I don't
gone through
know.
a lot of crap. I get it, and it was not easy, and it was a hard life. I get it.
But I didn't know any of that before the movie. And I also think they chose a really entertaining and kind of fun way to
It
show
was
all
unique.
these horrific, horrible things. Like if they would have just shown that movie straightforward, you would have been depressed 45 minutes into it.
Maybe, but also, I mean, I liked the actor who played him, but I didn't. I felt like he wasn't Elton John until the end. Like I didn't feel like I was watching Elton John.
Taron Egerton,
You know what I mean?
I thought he did a good job.
Like with Ray, even when he was a kid and he was young, I was like, "Oh, this is Ray Charles." But for Elton John, I think we lost it again. Hold on.
Yeah, no, you're back. Go ahead.
Okay, I just felt like it didn't grab me right in the beginning. I don't know. Just the kids singing right in the beginning kind of took me out of it immediately.
See, I liked all of that because like you said, Ray, coming off of all these biopics and they know that Bohemian Rhapsody is coming out around the same time, you just couldn't go through the same formula again. You know?
Yeah,
I
but
love that it wasn't start to finish because they're all start to
no,
finish.
I appreciate the different type of way that they wanted to show everything. I get it, and it was very artistic and gutsy, and the direction. I mean, the way they shot it was amazing. All the different scene transitions, everything. But I don't know, just the first half hour, I was kind of like, I don't even know what I'm watching here.
Yeah.
Then I kind of got into it, and it wasn't a bad movie at all. I don't think it was bad. I just thought it was, I don't know, weird.
I was the same way. The first few minutes I was kind of like what the hell am I? But I kind of knew I had seen that scene where they were all floating away, so I was like, okay, I know this is going to get a little trippy and weird.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I liked it. I liked it. All right, you brought up Ray. I feel like top biopic performances ever. I'm going to give you three that I feel like are head and shoulders above the rest based on performances only. Because I think Taron Egerton was killer, but you're right. Jamie Foxx and Ray Charles was like, I
Yeah,
mean,
he was Ray Charles.
he was Ray
It was
Charles.
amazing.
Rami Malek was Freddie Mercury. We talked about that.
He was fantastic.
And the third one I'm going to throw in here, again, just right off the top of my head, would be Jim
I know what
Carrey.
you're gonna say. Oh, okay.
What did you think I was going to say?
I thought you were gonna say Walk the Line.
No. No, I thought
Joaquin
Joaquin
Phoenix.
Phoenix was terrible as Johnny Cash.
Really?
Not terrible, but I would put him below. I thought Taron Egerton was a better Elton John than Joaquin Phoenix was a Johnny Cash.
I disagree with you on that.
I
But
just
okay.
I just think Ray and Rami are head and shoulders above like Joaquin Phoenix playing Johnny Cash.
I don't know, man. Maybe, but Walk the Line was.
It
I'd
was
put that in the
great movie.
top
Oh,
five.
I would put that high up on the list of biopics. But I feel
So
like
you're talking Jim Carrey as what's his face?
Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman. Thank you.
Yeah, that was just a killer thing.
I think I thought I should have said it. You're talking Jim Carrey as the Grinch. I get it. That would have been good.
That would have been the joke right
You
there.
played him perfectly.
The worst part about Man on the Moon was Danny DeVito playing George Shapiro.
You know what? I never saw Man on the Moon.
Are you?
That's one we should have talked about on Saturday.
Oh my god!
I know.
What the hell, man?
You never saw Star Wars. Shut up.
Man on the Moon is good. The thing with that movie is, and again, because I could remember seeing the breakfast scene and anyway, whatever. Him on Letterman. I had saw something on Andy Kaufman years before, and I thought this guy was hysterical, and the wrestling things that he did. It was like right around the time that I was like totally into wrestling, so I was like, here's this funny guy that was into. I was more into that part of him than the Taxi stuff, right? So I was super excited for the movie to come out. The movie comes out, and then now this is, I don't even know what year this all is. In the 90s, I think, right? Has to be.
Late 80s?
So, no. This was in the, when the movie came out, it was 90 whatever.
Oh, when the movie came out.
Yeah, when the movie came out with Jim Carrey. At the time, so this is like all pre-internet. This is like dial-up internet time where you know, information wasn't at your fingertips like it is now. But I remember seeing a report on like an Entertainment Tonight or whatever that Jim Carrey was so annoying and was was doing Andy Kaufman-esque things on set, and that he was having fights with people, and Milos Forman was arguing with him every day, and he refused to answer to anything but Andy. He was basically being Andy Kaufman off camera as much as he was on camera.
You're talking about the documentary that they did as well.
So, but that's what I'm talking about. So it leaks out like right around the time that the movie comes out that he had a film crew with him, and there was this documentary, and literally it came out like a year ago. Like I had to wait 20 something years just to see this one little tidbit thing that I had heard about, you know, back in the pre-internet days. And it was like, seeing that documentary was like, it felt like I was holding my breath all these years. You know what I mean? Like I finally got to see this friggin' thing that I had kind of heard about.
I have to see this.
Yeah.
I have to see this. You know, the thing was with me, I wasn't a huge Andy Kaufman fan. So I really didn't get into, I wasn't interested in the movie too much, but I love Jim Carrey. I like Andy Kaufman and his crazy antics.
Yeah.
So I'd be into it.
So good. It's one of those movies that you would love it. You would be totally satisfied. It's very satisfying going through the whole journey with him, and
I'll watch that. I'm in.
And he was killer in it. Jim Carrey was killer in it. Say it again.
If it's on something, if it's on any kind of streaming thing, I'll watch it.
Yeah, you know, Google's been a lot better. Like if you just Google a movie, it will give you a list of where, like Silence of the Lambs is not on. It's on like YouTube. I'd have to like buy it on YouTube.
Wow.
I have to buy it on Amazon too. Let me see, Man on the Moon.
Yeah, I'd be into watching that.
That is, it's on Cinemax if you got it.
Sure.
That's
cool.
it. Everywhere else you gotta buy it. I can't believe you watched Rocket Man. I'm very impressed with you, Frank. I'm very, very impressed.
Hey, I knew, you know, we both said that we would watch a movie, and, you know, I keep my promises, buddy.
I did give it the old try. I gave it the old college try. I was like, I did look for both of those movies, and both of them are just not available. Right. But I'll keep them on the list. So if they do pop up, I will watch.
Watch, you gotta. Princess Bride, definitely.
How was your Easter?
Quiet.
Right?
Except for my family and I, we did the old, what was it?
Zoom.
You know, when you Zoom meeting, you know, so 5 or 6 different households were all making a lot of noise on the screen. And it was fun. You know, everybody had their food and everything. We were on for like half an hour or so, and it was nice.
You did it during like
So
dinner time, like while everybody was eating.
it was like early afternoon, 2 o'clock. Yeah.
Nice. Here's my thing with that, and I want to get your input on this because I have the same thing. You get on, you got like five different households on the Zoom thing, and everybody's like continuously talking over one another. Don't
Right.
you have the desire to just like take over and be like, okay, let me host this. I'll ask the questions. I'll move the conversation around, make sure everybody gets to say what they need to say, right? Because all you need is somebody like directing to be like, blah 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 blah. Isn't that right, Aunt Kathy? And that, you know what I mean?
The only problem with that is, I mean, how you can someone wants to speak. It's very. We need like a virtual talking stick. You know, like someone has it and passes it to the next
Like a
person.
clean key for the Zoom conversation.
Kind of like a clean key. Why someone should come up with that?
I hate to be like this person to be like raise your hand, but it kind of. I mean, just think about it. You could probably get so much more done in these conversations if you like we raise the hand and there's one person that's like in charge of like, you know.
Yeah, but we're not. These conversations aren't to get anything done. It's just to BS with each other.
Yeah, I know, but still,
I mean, it works for like my job. We did a Zoom meeting last week, and we had literally, I don't know, 40, 45 people on this thing, and everybody was muted except for the one person that had to talk at a time.
right. That's the only way you're
So
gonna get it
that's
done.
it's the only way you're going to get it done. But with a family thing, there's 6, 7 people, 6, 7 screens. You're not going to mute someone. If they want to say something, they should be able to chime in.
I just want to host
No,
it.
okay.
I just the hosty part of me, but the efficiency part of me is like this could be done so much better if we just like establish some rules and like
Yeah,
we'd probably get everybody's everything out that everybody wanted to say.
yeah. But that's the thing.
Wait, you cutting out there? Say it again.
You don't go into these things with a list of things to say. It's all ad lib. It's all on the fly. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's why it's not going to work with a format like that. You have to let people jump in whenever they want.
I might do some prep for the Zoom meetings. I might do some.
Record it. Let's see how it goes.
Whenever I have any conversation with anybody, I automatically go in with a couple of things to say.
You have a list.
I always have material prepared because I can't stand awkward pauses.
I live for awkward pauses. I love it. No,
Should we end on an
like
awkward
this right
pause?
now. I want to end on an awkward, but and we just fade out.
Let's see. Not really much left to say, right?
I mean, you know, I had fruit snacks before.
Go to the website, anthonyonair.com to get info. I love fruit snacks. I had this. See, I was going to let it go awkward, but I can't. I had this thought before because I'm so fat right now. I'm eating so much. I was like, I'm snacking on cookies and potato chips, and I feel disgusting because I'm just eating garbage. I'm like,
Oh
God,
yeah,
I got to eat a little bit better. I was like, I was like, maybe fruit snacks. Maybe if I have some fruit snacks, it'll change it up.
the word fruit is right in there. That's somewhat healthy, right? I mean,
I legit had that thought. Like, maybe if I incorporate some fruit
it's an
snacks
excellent
into this.
source of vitamin C. Says these things.
Yeah,
Fruit emojis.
nice. Fruit
They're good.
emojis.
So again, your assignment: find one of these movies, pay the $14, then you'll own the movie and you'll love it. You'll be glad you did.
No, I'll hate it. If I have to pay for it, I know I'll be
Are you
annoyed.
gonna go in with a
Yeah,
face like, what am I doing with this?
it'll add too much
All right.
extra to it. But I promise you that like by the way, like I think that this is just as good. That I will keep these on my list. Like these will be the ones, and as soon as they become available to watch, I'll go right in
All right.
and watch one. You should have named one of the newer Star Wars ones. That should have been the move.
You can't because you have to see them in the right order.
Well, you know
You're
what?
not gonna know what's going on.
I actually might legitimately do that because I have Disney Plus, and we're coming to the end of we're coming to the end of all the Marvel stuff. Like
Okay.
we're at the point where we just started Guardians of the Galaxy, you know,
Oh, those
and
are good.
yeah, those are good, and they're kind of like if there's like green people talking, like the kids will kind of like they'll stick with it, and Star Wars has all that stuff too, so we might lean into Star Wars next.
Your kids will like episode 1 with Jar Jar. You'll
Yeah,
hate it,
yeah. I enjoyed
but
Jar
that's where you
Jar
should
because
go.
how much he annoyed all the hardcore Star Wars people, though. I remember
You
that
know, I
too.
had no problem with Jar. The only issue I had with Jar Jar was how much screen time he got as a secondary character. He was like one of the main characters, and it was like, just give it to the Jedi. We don't really
Mm.
need to have Jar Jar as the focus here.
You know, I'm running out of time, unfortunately, and I didn't get to ask you about the why the penguin.
Oh,